Welcome back to Crypto Today, everything decentralized. Today we're going to be talking about crypto trading indicators in 2019. If you want to stay tuned with my daily crypto videos, my daily Pundi X videos, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. As well as this is going to be a 3-part series, and the next video is going to be covering candlestick patterns. So if you are interested in that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned as well. Now let's begin by saying that I am by no means a professional, but rather like you guys, learning and bettering my skill each day as we go on. With that being said, you always want to have a plan, and your plan should always include what's going to be your entry point, what's going to be your exit point, when are you going to cut your losses, and how much are you risking. For example, are you risking $1 to make 3, or are you risking $1 to make 50 cents? As you can see, there's definitely a pretty big difference in those two scenarios. Now, the best way to find these points is by using indicators. And I want to say that you typically want to use at least at minimum 2 indicators. You typically want to be using 3 or 4 just because it's pretty simple to put it right in front of you. It doesn't really take up all that much. And you'll see it after as I show you all the indicators. Right here we actually have 2, which we're going to cover the other one later. But let's begin by pointing out the one that pretty much pops up right at you as soon as you open your chart, which is the support and resistance. And we're going to be using NPXS live chart from Binance, just because I cover a lot of Pundi X videos, and as well as I feel like this chart looks pretty clean compared to others, and I feel like it's going to be easier for people that are learning or bettering their skills to be able to see these points. Now let's begin with the support for this chart, which is around 15 satoshis, as well as the resistance over here at 20 satoshis. And one of the simple ways to know if the points you're looking at are actually supports and resistance points is by seeing how often they're actually tested and then rejected. So basically, for example, here it touches a 1, 2, 3, and then it goes all the way back. And over here we can see the same thing, 1, 2, it goes all the way back, even all the way down here, back here. And this is actually a 1-day chart, so basically every candlestick represents 1 day, just something to keep in mind. So as you can see over here, the resistance is at 20 sats, and it actually goes all the way back here. It seems like it was starting to form here. As you can see, a pretty big move up, but it was rejected and continued down. Now over here, we're looking like it kind of wants to hit a bearish trend, but I'll tell you why I think that later. And now let's move on to another one that I feel like you should definitely be using, just because how simple it is to use, and you'll see why I say it's so simple to use. And which is the RSI right here, Relative Strength Index. To get that, you would go to indicators and you would type RSI and click on that. So go ahead and click on it just to show you guys how it's done. And also I want to show you another thing, because right here, as you can see, it's purple on purple. It's not as easy to see as this one up here. It's the exact same chart. You would just go right here in the little gear format, and you would click the plot, and you would click the color, and okay. And there you have it. It would change it just to make it easier for you to see. And you can do that with pretty much almost anything. You can do that with the moving averages, which we're going to cover soon, which is this red, yellow, and white line. Now, back to the RSI. Basically, the RSI tells you when it's being oversold or undersold. Sorry. So basically, if it's being undersold, it'll typically be below this 30 right here. That's right there, being undersold. And if it's being overbought, it's going to be above the 70. Now, this is really cool to use because, look, I'll show you a quick example. Let's say you bought right here December 28th, 2018, and you held it for right about a month. You would, right here, 2019, 127. Now, I know that from here to here, it's not necessarily like a huge significant move up necessarily, but as you may know already, NPXS is actually fairly cheap. So that means that depending on how much money you actually put into it, the move from here all the way up here could have definitely made you some pretty good gains, some pretty good profits. And that's just something to keep in mind. And see, you can see that with the RSI right there. But again, you never want to use less than 2 indicators, just because using one, yes, sometimes it can be pretty nice, but I feel like using one is more like a hit or miss. Not necessarily, but it's just oh, sometimes it feels that way. That's why you want to use 2 or more. Now that's pretty much how you use the RSI, as well as the 50 right here would be like the average price for that asset or a token or whatever it is chart you're looking for or at. Now let's move on to the moving averages, which is right here we have in the red we have the 99-day moving average, in the white we have the 25, and in the yellow we have the 27. Now a really easy and simple way to use these is by, if you can see right here, let's move the chart, zoom it in. Right here, as you can see, we're beginning to start selling or being traded below the 25, even the 99, but the 99 is pretty up there. But yeah, we're going to be using the 25 mainly, but we're being traded under the 25 and even under the 7-day moving averages. So what that tells you is that we're pretty much in a bearish trend, and most likely than not is going to continue, just because how strong you can see these moves are. And as you can see, it's below the moving averages, and it continues the trend all the way down here. And typically when you see the averages typically cross like this, then most likely than not is going to go up or down based on how the chart has been acting previously, and other indicators as well. And as you can see here, it does happen. It's below the moving averages, it goes down, crosses, it goes up, pumps up. And now here is why I said that this is kind of like, it almost seems like it wants to go bearish. But I feel like with the upcoming things with Pundi X, it might not. But let's see. We can't really predict the future, right? But basically, right here, as you can see, we're beginning to start trading below those that 25 and that 7 moving average. So it seems like we're beginning a bearish trend, but of course, again, the charts don't necessarily always respect the indicators, so that can quickly change. And as you can see, we crossed over, so definitely having a little movement towards the downside at the moment. But anyhow, that pretty much covers it for this video. If you want to catch the other video on in candlestick pattern indicators, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and stay tuned. And I'll see you guys on the next one.